Trejo. I'm the campaign lead for the Third Term Project. So our stated goal is to ensure that President Trump can get the third term that we believe the public demands that he receive. Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee has introduced a constitutional amendment that would amend the Constitution to allow President Trump to get a third term. Mark Avagno, legal expert, will be explaining kind of the basis of how that works after I give my brief statement today. But we believe that the public needs a third term from President Trump. What he's doing already at warp speed with Doge and with making the government more efficient, going to battle with the bureaucracy, the permanent bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. That has lorded over us and strangled the economy for so long. This has been such a scourge for the American people. Trump is going to battle with them, and he's making incredible strides. But the forces of evil that he's going to war against are not going to go away. They might be dormant for a while, but they're going to be waiting to get right back in there as soon as President Trump is out of office. So we believe that with a third term, he'll be able to remake the government. He'll be able to take a wrecking ball to the bureaucracy, to the different, to the networks that operate behind the bureaucracy, and for generations to come, it will make the necessary change. Stop the deep state, stop the institutional bureaucracy, stop the administrative state, and restore freedom to the people. So that's the idea here that we're pushing with the Third Term Project. Go to thirdtermproject.com for more information. And I'm just going to have Mark Avagno, our legal expert, talk a little bit about the basis behind it, and before we take some questions from the media. So, Mark, go right ahead.
Thank you, Shane. So a lot of people, especially in the modern mind frame, think, well, presidents should only have 2 terms, right? That's how it's always been. Well, the truth of the matter of fact is that it's not always been like that. Franklin D. Roosevelt served 4 terms as president, and then we got this 22nd Amendment. That was the impetus for it. And so we are not asking for a huge modification, actually. We've got a lot of criticism. Well, what if we allow Joe Biden to run again? Well, I don't know if he can even tie his shoes, so that's not going to happen. But what about Obama? Obama could run again. Well, what we're asking for is a modification to the 22nd Amendment, which would be that a president can serve 2 consecutive terms and no more. So in President Trump's case, he served 1 term. The second term was interrupted, and now he has another term, and so he should be allowed to effectuate his agenda with the second term. A lot of presidents, usually when they win once, they win again. And so we're not even saying that President Trump will be president again. So if he does run in 2028, it could be that he was not elected. We're just saying that he should have the opportunity to be elected. And so there's certainly legal precedent for it. We're going to have to get at least 2/3 majority vote in the House and in the Senate, but that's certainly possible. And it's not unprecedented that a president would run 3 terms or even 4 terms. We're just saying a third term would be ideal. And a lot of the left says they support democracy. This would be part of democracy, right? So we're just giving the opportunity. If people don't vote for President Trump in 2028, so be it. But we want him to have the opportunity to run again.
Let's go with a proven commodity. Trump, he looks, many decades younger than he actually is. So he's got the vigor to do it. So let's allow him to do it. Let's allow him to remake the country. Let's let him secure that place on Mount Rushmore that he deserves, and give him his third term. And then a younger successor like JD can take it from there.
What have you heard from other Republicans in the House with regards to this resolution being introduced?
We haven't heard much from other Republicans. They've been, sadly, they've been silent on it. Unfortunately, they've been silent on it. But from the groundswell that we've heard at CPAC, there's a huge fervor for Trump 2028. So we want the grassroots here to take that message, move it forward, and pressure the lawmakers to go on the record as they should, and support this. Starting with the more conservative members of the House, there's no reason why they shouldn't be on the board, and then more moderate members, we can hopefully pressure them and get them to sign on to Representative Ogles' amendment in the future.
Yeah, I think just because there's not a lot of necessarily official endorsement for it doesn't mean there's support. I think that Representative Ogles came out with the initial action, and so people are supporting it. And we're going to see more gathering around it as the grassroots support it. It'll go from the grassroots level up. And so that's what we're hoping for. And that's what we're expecting.
And have you heard from President Trump on this idea?
Not officially, but he has said that if the people call for a third term and want a third term, and the rules are changed, and that there's an amendment that comes in or something like that, that he would step up to the plate. So we anticipate if we're successful, that Trump will step up to the plate and get his rightful third term.
Why are you portraying Trump as a
Well, we believe that Trump is the Caesar figure that America has needed. Trump is the Napoleonic figure that has emerged to lead our country out of perdition and into greatness. So we're putting that out there. Trump as Caesar. We think it's a great optics. So we love the idea of Trump as our Julius Caesar type figure. We'll be pushing that hard for weeks and months to come.
A lot of people on the left criticize Trump as like a wannabe dictator or something like that. Do you feel like you're playing into their hands with that kind of branding?
Well, some leftists might get triggered. They might get angry at stuff like this, but we think that's part of the fun. So we're playing into that, and we think that the Trump as Caesar optic is something that is going to help us get more notoriety around this idea that can save our country.
And by the way, we can't take the left seriously when it comes to that. They called George W. Bush a Nazi. He was the next coming of Hitler. And so they're going to call any Republican, anyone to the right of George Bush, a Nazi, etc., dictatorial, authoritarian. So we don't take that seriously at all, not should any conservative.
And we think what Trump is doing with DOGE and he's cutting down the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C., we think with that, he's showing that he's not a dictator. He wants to give more freedom to people. He wants to decentralize power and decentralize authority, and that's the agenda that he'll take into his third term, not centralizing power and giving more power to the bureaucracy. He's taking power away from the bureaucracy, giving it to the people, and that's the agenda we support.
You mentioned specifically the two-thirds vote threshold that this would need to pass both the House and the Senate. What is a potential message for Democrats to get on board with this to get you to those votes?
Well, we hope that there's just such a groundswell that they, I don't think they're going to come on board, in a fashion where they're going to openly adopt something like this. But if the groundswell reaches that fever pitch, they might have to. They might realize that we're not going to get elected, re-elected in our places, in our different districts, unless we do the right thing and give President Trump his third term. So we understand it's going to take a lot of groundswell, it's going to take a lot of work, but we feel like if there's enough people in the grassroots who are demanding it, they'll be forced to get on board.
Well, also, if people
For a self-described wartime president, victory over COVID-19 equals a vaccine.
I hope we're going to have a vaccine, and we're going to fast-track it like you've never seen before.
Adding Trump-style branding, the administration launched Operation Warp Speed, a multi-billion-dollar research and manufacturing effort to shorten the typical year-plus vaccine development timeline. The goal is ambitious, producing patient-ready vaccines as early as January. Though officials asked who is in charge of this government and private sector mission, the president mentioned his medical advisors, but
I think probably more than anything I'm in charge, and I'm the one that gets blamed, and I get blamed anyway.